My name is Liam Donnelly. I've been doing this online marketing thing for 12 years now, and our online coaching business just hit a little milestone. We did $2 million in cash collected for that online business, and we did it without a funnel. Instead, what we focused on was the 3 Ds of client attraction. And this is what this video is going to explain to you right now. So 3 Ds, what are they? Discover, desire, and deal. Obviously, in order for a prospect to become a client, they need to close the deal with you, right? That's the end result. There's only two things that need to happen before the deal is closed, right? They need to actually desire what you've got, your product, your service, your membership, whatever you're selling. But before they even desire working with you, they actually need to discover you, find out who you are. And the reason why the 3Ds have been game-changing for me is because over all of these years, we've learned about all these different online marketing principles, different ways of advertising, different ways of doing content. The word funnel has been just thrown around this world so much, like which funnel is better? Is it better to do like a free challenge funnel, or is it better to do like an ebook funnel, or a free plus shipping actual physical book funnel, or is it better to do a webinar funnel? Anyway, it really confused me for many years, because at certain points during this online marketing lifetime, some funnels actually have been more effective than others. Whereas right now, we're at a point in time where market sophistication is actually quite high. The general market tends to know whether they're inside a funnel or not. And so as a result, there's not really one funnel that's doing better than the others. And as a result, I had to come back to first principles thinking and just figure out, well, what are we actually trying to achieve with a funnel? Like, what's the underlying thing that we're trying to get a prospect to do, to go through in order to actually become a client? And that's where I figured out that there's only really two things that we need. We need more people to discover us. And the more people that discover us, the more people that we can work on creating desire. And the more people that we can create desire in, the more deals we'll get, right? To back this up, like this encompasses everything to do with marketing funnels. So no matter what kind of marketing that you're doing right now, I can guarantee that it fits into here in some way, shape, or form, right? So, but the problem is people aren't thinking about it in these buckets. People are thinking about it like, oh, I'm doing like an Instagram Reels ManyChat funnel, which basically means that you'll do an Instagram Reel, but there'll be a specific call to action for someone to comment a word. And then when they comment that word, it'll tell the Instagram algorithm that more people are commenting on this reel, so therefore it should be pushed to more people, and it creates like a flywheel effect. And then anytime someone does comment, you set up like a ManyChat automated AI chatbot to automatically message the person that commented that word. It's a great funnel. I like it, right? But thinking about it in like its own little box instead of thinking about it and how it fits into this whole thing, right? And so if we take this example, like right now, like I'm doing a YouTube video, right? YouTube long form is a great way to build desire, because unlike Instagram Reels, which is what we just talked about, this is my little picture of a phone. iPhones don't even have that button anymore, but that's my drawing of a phone. So this is an Instagram Reel, right? This is where you would classify a discover mechanism, right? Because the whole point of an Instagram Reel is somebody comes across your feed or on their feed comes across your reel, and it pops up in their algorithm, and they go, okay, this is actually something I'm interested in. They've gone from not knowing who you are to knowing at least a little bit about who you are, and they've discovered you. And then obviously, like through the automation and the ManyChat, we can send them to like your website, or we can send them to a webinar, or we can send them to something with the intention, obviously, of getting to the deal, right? Discover, desire, deal, right? Going back to my YouTube example, which is where we are right now, we could send traffic from Instagram to this YouTube video, or I could run an ad to this YouTube video. The ad helps people discover. The YouTube video helps create desire. And hopefully I'm doing a good enough job of building desire with you right now. And if I do a good enough job, there's a chance that you'll be converted into a client through a deal. All right. But the cool thing about YouTube, which is pretty unique and doesn't really exist in many other ways, is that YouTube actually has its own self-discovering mechanism in there, because it is algorithmic as well as long form. So unlike Instagram, whereas like you can post something on Instagram and you can get thousands of people who have never heard you all of a sudden see your Instagram reel. You can't build desire in that first 15 seconds, that 30-second reel or whatever. People, if you've ever just sat at a bus stop or at a restaurant and seen people like scroll their Instagram and just how fast they scroll through, even when they stop and watch something for 5-10 seconds and they do consume it and it counts as a view for your profile, they're already swiping like 10-15 seconds later, swiping another 3, 4, 5 things. I can guarantee like 90 seconds later, they've almost forgotten everything about your initial reel. No matter how valuable this content is, you know, it could have been the most incredible 15 seconds of content that you've put together in your life, but 2 minutes later, they've completely forgotten about it. But have they taken 30 minutes to an hour, you know, on your website, or you've got a VSL or something like that, a video sales letter, or maybe you've got a podcast down here or something. You know, this is what really creates desire. If you ever listen to a podcast or something, there's something magical that happens when you've got headphones in and you've got that person's voice in between your ears, inside your brain for hours and hours at a time. I think the terminology is they call it a parasocial relationship, where you actually feel like you know the person. Not only do you know them, you like them, because obviously you wouldn't keep listening to them if you didn't like them, but you also feel like you can trust them. You can trust what they're saying is true. You can trust what they're saying is accurate, and you trust that their advice is good and actually helpful. And so that whole concept of know, like, and trust, KNT, is the crux of desire. Like, we know that. That's a really famous business quote, which is people do business with those they know, like, and trust, right? So what we figured out was, okay, well, if we want to get more deals, surely we should just be trying to increase know, like, and trust and increase desire as much as possible, right? And that comes down to the quality of these long form videos, whether it's on YouTube or in a VSL or in a podcast, but really just going above and beyond for creating really high quality stuff. And like, this is what I say to my clients all the time, is like, you have to actually feel uncomfortable with the amount of value that you're giving away. Like for this video right now, this is really like stuff that's taken me 12 years to learn. You know, I could put this behind a course and charge for it, but instead I'm giving it away for free, because I really think if you understand it, it really is that powerful and can be that game changing for your business. I mean, once we figured this out, our revenue really, really exploded. Like, we were at $20,000 a month early last year, right? And I think the last 3 months in a row, we've done more than 50 or 60K. And it's all because of this, right? So if we know that we need to increase the desire as much as possible, and it comes from the quality, well, what about the discover? And that comes from quantity, right? So realistically, the goal shouldn't be, I need to do more Instagram reels, or I need to do more advertising, or I need to do more cold outreach. It doesn't matter what you do. We just need to figure out which part of the discover funnel is going to be best for you and for your business, and which part of the desire funnel is going to be best for you and your business. And like, there's all these other types of desire funnels as well. Like we talked about it before. There's books. It's me drawing a little book. A really common one is like free challenges, like 5-day challenges. There's like Facebook groups, and like school groups are all the rage right now. These are all just different ways to try and increase desire, to try and increase know, like, and trust, knowing that we can funnel these people into a conversion mechanism and eventually get them to a point where we can close a deal with them, right? So what you need to figure out is well, we only have 168 hours in a week, right? 40 of those hours are usually working, usually a little bit more for entrepreneurs. A certain amount of those hours are spent with clients or with staff or just with general business running tasks. We don't actually have that much time left to allocate to this stuff, but this is all we need to be doing with that allocated time left. So the next question is, well, surely it makes sense to get the most bang for your buck, to get the most amount of just people discovering you per hour, per day, per week of input of your work. And then we need to make sure that we get the most amount of desire out of each person that goes to this side of the funnel, right? And so that's where you need to figure out, well, where does your skill lie? Like, where is your market? Are you market more on Instagram? Are you market more on Facebook? Are you market more on Twitter or LinkedIn? But not only that, it's like, it's not only going, okay, well, my market is on LinkedIn, so all I'm going to do is go hard on LinkedIn. But if you don't have any desire phase, desire strategy, you're just trying to go from LinkedIn into a deal, that's where you're going to have a hard time. And I see this time and time again because people's like, I'm doing so much content on LinkedIn, like I'm getting so much reach, I'm getting followers, I'm getting people messaging me, and I'm still not hitting the income goals that I want. And this is what it comes down to, because they're missing this crucial part. And so realistically, what we need to do is realize that LinkedIn is just part of a discover strategy, and not try and make it into something that's not. That's not a discover and a desire strategy. Again, the only kind of one that really, I think, fits into both discover and desire, and which is why I'm going all in on it, is YouTube, because it has that algorithmic part of it. When you're watching any kind of YouTube video, in the right-hand corner of your screen on YouTube, you've got all these suggested videos. Or even when you open up the site as well for the first time, you have all of these suggested videos. And when people are on the platform of YouTube as well, they're in a viewing and listening mode. So they're willing to listen to 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour of content as well, which is just so, so powerful. So that is the one exception. And if you take nothing away from this video, I would say just, do what you can to go all in on YouTube, because even though we aren't early anymore per se, we definitely are with regards to how beneficial it can be for businesses. I still think businesses just don't appreciate how powerful it is to do it right. If businesses took all the resources and stuff that they were doing with posting, and this is what I see all the time, right? They post on Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. They're doing all of this stuff, and it's taking hours and hours a week and all that sort of stuff. If they just did none of that and took all of those hours and just put it into making one really quality YouTube video, so then the algorithm would find it and would push it out, and more people would naturally discover it, your results would be far better. Because even if you are doing all of these social media strategies over here, most of them don't have a desire part of their funnel at all, and they're doing the same thing. They're just trying to skip that desire and just go straight into the deal, right? Or they're just hoping that, somehow like people will discover them, and it's just not a smart way of thinking about it. This, I think, is a much smarter way of going about it. Figuring out, okay, working backwards, we know we want to close more deals. How many people do we need to consume our desire content, whether it is a YouTube video, whether it's a podcast, whether it is a 5-day challenge or something from that? And knowing that, okay, we need to get 10 deals per month. We need 100 people going through our desire mechanism per month. Therefore, how many people do we need to actually discovering us? And how much traffic do we need to push from there to our desire mechanism? Okay, well, now we need at least 10,000 people discovering us per month. Now we have a quantifiable number that we can work on and you can reflect on. And the famous quote, what gets measured gets managed. Where do we measure up with this 10,000 new people discovering us each month? I guarantee you're not tracking it in your business right now, because we weren't for a very long time, because it just seemed like a metric. Like, why would you track it? It doesn't make sense to. Like, we're in the business of helping people with their health. Why does it matter how many people actually discover us each month? View counts and everything, it seems so fake and arbitrary. But when you actually look at it from this perspective, it actually really is important. So how did we understood this a lot earlier? We would have hit our little milestones a lot quicker. But that's why we're going all in on it even more. So we're actually restricting what we're posting a lot on more platforms, and going harder on making sure that we're maximizing the amount of quantity of people that are discovering us each month, and we're maximizing the amount of know, like, and trust, the amount of people that are really desiring working with us. And part of that is YouTube, and part of that is the YouTube video that you're watching right now. So that's the video. Stay tuned for the next one, and I'll talk to you then.